Hey guys, finally back with a new SEO video. I've been away for the last couple weeks, traveling throughout Southeast Asia. Did 8 cities in 4 countries over 24 days, and finally have the jet lag and looking forward to getting back into YouTube. Today's gonna be a pretty cool new video. Something pretty simple though that I've been thinking about making for a while. A lot of people have been asking me for it, both agencies looking to price their services as well as brands looking to determine if SEO is like really going to be kind of a winning channel for them. So going to break down an SEO ROI calculator I made, and I'm going to give you a copy of it so that you can use it, share it, tweak it however you want. I'm going to show you the data I'm using and kind of give you a walkthrough example of how it works. So let's get to it. All right, so this is the ROI calculator, okay? Let me just walk you through kind of what you're looking at first, and then we'll talk about how it works and kind of where I got the data for it. All right, so over here we've got estimated click-through rate for each position based on this study from First Page Sage. Okay, I've linked it here for you to check out and kind of read through, just so you know where I got the data. Okay, I will say like the data may be a bit exaggerated just with the ever increasing amount of AI overviews in SERPs. I will say they did include this in, they did factor this into the top 2 positions. But again, I'm sure it's impacting click-through rate across the board, like positions 3 through 7 as well. So I would say like this data set's not perfect, but it's pretty good for estimating, whether you're an agency or whether you're a brand trying to decide, like, should I even do SEO? Like this can be a decent way to tell you if that's going to be viable for you or not. Okay, so these are the numbers again. Position 1, 38.9% click-through rate. Position 2, 18.7%, and position 3, 10%. Below that, obviously, pretty substantial drop-off. Position 10 is estimated at 1.6%. Honestly, I would say like these position 7 and under is honestly they're probably all sub 1% if you factor in AI overviews and things like that. And obviously, these numbers will change based on search intent. For example, like a category page in position 7, I would imagine likely has a higher likelihood of getting clicked on comparatively to a blog result in position 7. Okay, so something to consider there. Okay, now basically what we're looking at here, like you're going to plug in keywords. So I'm going to show you what this looks like in an example. Okay, and basically it'll calculate your projected estimated traffic for positions 1 through 10 based on the search volume you provided from SEMrush or Ahrefs. Okay. Again, these are marked in red because honestly, like if you're doing e-commerce SEO, you pretty much have to rank in the top 5 now with the amount of ads and AI overviews in order to make any kind of money. Quite frankly, I think the click-through rate on these, like I said, 6 through 10 is like probably sub 1%, which means like, depending on the search volume, a sub 1% click-through rate is not going to make you any money, especially not if you're paying an agency, right? You may be making like a couple $100 on a keyword, but like you're probably going to pay a couple $1,000 in agency fees. So it's like probably not going to be worth your time unless you can stack enough keywords together. Okay. Now, that being said, let me just, and then like down here, we'll get into revenue projections as well, based on the monthly search traffic. So let me just do this example for protein powder. I actually already copied this out, but basically I just typed in protein powder as an example. So like if you run a supplement brand as an like this could be a good demo for you. So basically I plugged in keyword difficulty 1 through 35. Okay. And then I just grabbed like 10 keywords. Okay. So I'm going to grab these over here. I'm just going to paste them down here just because the copy pasting from SEMrush is whack and I don't need all of these. I don't need all these rows. Okay. So I'll just like copy these into here. Keyword will go here. It'll get syndicated down here. And then I'm just going to copy in the search volume from these same keywords and they'll go here. Now you'll see it's all filled out. So for vanilla protein powder, estimated 12,100 searches per month. Okay. If you're in position 1, it is estimated based on this click-through rate and this search volume, you will receive roughly 4,707 organic visits a month from this particular keyword. Again, assuming you rounded this one. Okay. If you're in position 2, that number drops to 2,263. Again, rounding. Drop to position 3, 1,234. Keep going. You're in position 10 for this keyword, you get 194 visits a month. Okay. Pretty low volume, right? Not going to be a substantial revenue driver. Okay. Now, what we have down here is estimated monthly revenue projections based on this click-through rate, this monthly traffic for each position, and based on your organic search conversion rate and average order value. Now, you can edit, like you'll have to make a copy of this file to edit it anyway, but like you can just plug these numbers for your store, right? So like if you know your organic search conversion rate is 3%, you can just plug that in, and your average order rate or average order value, which could be, I just used 100 for basic math. We could do like 110 or like, let's do like 113, for example, right? And then this will calculate based on this estimated traffic and then these two metrics as well. So it'll take your projected estimated traffic times the organic search conversion rate times and then the average order value. And that is that's basically your roughly estimate of how much money you're going to make off of this particular keyword in a month. Okay. Again, the data is not perfect. It is an estimate, like a very rough estimate in that regard. Now, organic search conversion rate, you can get this in GA4. If you don't want to do that, you can just grab Shopify like site-wide organic, or you can grab the site-wide conversion rate. That's totally fine too. Again, if it's just organic search, that'll be your most accurate kind of number. But again, if you've never done SEO, your organic search conversion rate is probably like garbage. So your site-wide conversion rate may be honestly like a better choice for this. Average order value, again, you can get this from Shopify or GA4 or Triple Whale or whatever else you use. Okay. So you can these are the numbers that you'll basically just be editing this column or these two columns or these two sets like keyword and search volume, as well as these two. And then the numbers will update appropriately. Okay. So we look at this like conversion rate at 3%, right? Vanilla protein powder, you're estimated to drive nearly $16,000 in a month if you rank in position 1. If you're in position 2, the number is less than half of that at just under $8,000 a month. Position 3, $4,000 a month, right? Position 4 through 10, again, you're probably not driving much revenue. You could feel free to update the sheet like once you make a copy to see how much revenue you could drive in these positions. But quite frankly, like the numbers are probably like conversion rate drops off, click-through rate, and thus also conversion rate drops off substantially after position 3 and definitely after position 5. So I didn't calculate this, but feel free to do so. Okay, you can just like drag these cells over to get the next kind of 4 through 10 positions. Okay, now let's say we change the conversion rate to like 1% as an example, right? Now this keyword only drives $5,319 a month. In position 1, position 2, you're at $2,500 a month. In position 3, you're at $1,400 a month. Okay, so once, just one little tangent here, there is always a conversation like SEO and CRO, like how they work together. My philosophy on it, like I just do SEO for brands, right? Like my only goal is to rank you number 1 on Google, number 1, 2, 3 on Google, so that we can give you a chance to make money, right? We work with CRO teams all the time, both in-house with brands as well as other agencies. I will say, like, if you're doing CRO like at scale, you're doing it because you're running a ton of paid traffic or email traffic or something like that to a landing page. So you have enough sessions on a page to actually run significant, like you can run A/B tests and get significant data out of it, right? In SEO, you don't have that kind of volume until you rank number 1, 2, or 3, and you don't even have it until you rank number 1, 2, or 3, more specifically for a high volume keyword. Okay, so when it comes to SEO and CRO, like SEO should come first, get to the top 3 positions, and then focus on CRO as it pertains to your organic search, right? Now, we saw like how big the drop off was though, right? So if you manage to rank position 1 for vanilla protein powder and you convert at 1%, first off, that's abysmal. Second off, you're probably not going to be in the number 1 spot very much longer because Google's going to recognize the user behavior on your site and probably kick you from the top spot. It'll probably drop you like 4 or 5 spots, quite frankly. So once you start to get into like the top 3 to 5 spots, you should start to think about how, like you should be doing heat mapping and all that kind of stuff to figure out like how you can keep users on page longer and how you can get them to convert at a higher rate. There's multiple ways to do this, right? I think the simplest way from an SEO perspective to do this is to create landing pages for each unique user, right? I talk about like even for protein powder, right? Like I've talked about like creating collections and sub-collections for all these different keywords, right? There's a very good chance I actually only sell 10 protein powders, but they all, like I can kind of frame them for different collection pages as vanilla protein powder, supplements, or unflavored or peanut butter, right? And so like someone searching for just protein powder as an example is not going to convert very well because it's such a broad keyword, right? It's high volume, but it's a broad keyword. However, the more specific I get, like vanilla, for example, I I don't know what the number would be, but like you have an incrementally better chance of converting a user searching for this than you do just for protein powder, right? Same thing here, like lactose-free protein powder, I have probably an incrementally higher chance of converting this user than just vanilla, right? Protein powder for women would probably convert pretty well. Low carb protein powder would convert pretty well. I would even say like if you stack these keywords together with various collections, like low carb protein powder for women, that page in particular, or that keyword in particular, is going to convert at probably a better rate than just vanilla. So you can look at conversion rate data based on each page, and you can obviously adjust this accordingly, kind of as you see fit. Okay. But like even it's like 2% is like pretty standard conversion rate, I would say, for organic search. It's like actually it's probably low, quite frankly. But like you're in the number one spot for vanilla protein powder, you're making like just under 11,000 a month. You're making 10 and a half, right? Again, that number goes up to 4% as an example. You now are making over 21,000, right? So there are things to consider with this. It's obviously a good amount of money, right? Like if you're making just over 21K a month at 4% conversion rate, and you're not paying for every single user you acquire, unlike paid ads. So like that's really good profit. There's also the consideration, like if you hire an agency or a freelancer or in-house team, you're going to spend money, a lot of money, before you actually start getting this 22,000 or 21,000 a month, right? So there's that consideration too. And I'll probably update this sheet later on, so you can kind of see, like, let's say like vanilla protein powder. Like let's say hypothetically you don't rank for it right now, okay? And then based on like how many months of runway, like, hey, like let's say you're paying, $3,000 a month for agency services. Let's say, if we rank for it in 6 months, like this is how much money you'll spend, and estimated like time to break even on this keyword based on this data. So I'll probably make another video for this. This is kind of just like something I workshopped it like very quickly. But feel free to make a copy of it. And and I'll see you guys in the video tomorrow.